Welcome to the Your Business on Purpose podcast, the ultimate resource for women business owners looking to confidently navigate their entrepreneurial journey while upholding their principles. I'm Dawnette Palmore, your host and fellow entrepreneur. Join me as we immerse ourselves in illuminating conversations with accomplished experts spanning various fields across the business spectrum. Together, we'll unearth strategic insights into seizing opportunities and ensuring that your business is equipped with the essential elements aligned with your purpose and values. Welcome back to Your Business on Purpose, the podcast where we dive into real stories, lessons, and strategies behind building a business that supports your purpose and your life. I am your host, Dawnette Palmore, and today we're diving into a conversation that so many of us need, especially as women who we just tend to naturally wear, I don't want to say a lot of hats, I want to say gabillions of hats. So if you've ever found yourself doing all the things for your business, your family, your clients, but you feel like there's never enough time or energy really left for you, then this episode is for you. So make sure you tune in because we're talking about capacity over chaos. Strategic planning for women who do too much. Because really, ladies, success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with your purpose, grace, and of course, clarity. So today, my guest is the incredible Chanda Coston, a business strategist, Navy veteran, and the founder of Chanda Co, where she helps high-capacity women, especially in midlife, build aligned, sustainable businesses without burnout. With over 2 decades in leadership and strategy, Chanda has coached hundreds of women through life and business pivots using clarity, structure, and purpose-driven planning. She's also the leader of the HEB Foundation, a nonprofit serving low-income families impacted by gun violence. Chanda's work is rooted in purpose, impact, and helping women redefine success in a way that honors their whole lives, not just their businesses. Chanda, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and have this conversation.
Me too, because you guys don't know behind the scenes, but we had trouble actually trying to just get to where we are right now. So I'm super excited. We must be interrupting the spirits who don't want us to be talking about this.
Exactly.
Such a necessary topic. And so tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
I like to tell people I have lived 5 to 6 lives. You know, a lot of times, ladies, and men too, if you're there, a lot of times we find that, like you said, we wear many hats. And so in this season of my life, in this mid-season, I am a mom, a grandmom, I have aging parents. I still have myself. I'm a pet mom. So
All the things.
Yeah, all of the things, right? But what that requires from us is that it seems to require more and more and more of ourselves without being able to focus really on ourselves. And so I think a lot of times we don't honor ourselves by not doing that. And so we find that at some point we become drained, we become tired, right? It feels like it's too much. And so I help people get rid of the noise because I had to get rid of my noise, right? And find clarity through it all. So, yeah, I'm excited to be here and have the conversation around that and what that looks like for each of us, right? Because it's different. Right. Yeah.
I totally love that. And so we have a couple things in common. I also am a dog mom, but I also am a grandmother. So I love it. And it's like the best time. But do you also feel as you get older and you move into these stages where when we think about it, it's not supposed to be a ton of stuff, but it feels like it's more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm more busier than I ever have been, even when I had all my kids and I was homeschooling them. So it's just really crazy. So you talk about choosing capacity over chaos. So can you share with us what that means and what really inspired you to start helping women in this space?
Absolutely. For me, right? Because it always starts with us. I was under this wild assumption that as my children got older, that they would require less of me. And I mean, maybe it's just me, right? But my 31-year-old still calls me on Dress Down Fridays to help me with her outfits. And so I really thought like my kids are going to grow up, they're going to be 18 and I'm going to get my life back. And it doesn't work like that, right? And so there's always seemed to be something that's pressing in that makes us put our dreams in the back burner, right? And so, as a young mom, I married young, I had kids young, found myself in an abusive marriage. It became about the survival of my children, right? And so, I did what I had to do, as any mom would, to make sure that my children were stabilized in a good environment. And then after that, it was like, okay, now I want to be home with them. I want to be with them. And so, I transitioned from the military and kind of jumped into corporate. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this life, right? And I'm going to be here with you guys, and you're going to do all the extracurricular activities, right? And they did that. And so I was like, okay, as a empty nester, I found I was lonely, but I also found like I had to face myself, because then it was no longer about them. And I did that to help my mom, right? Because her husband is terminal, but it just always feels like we're constantly spiraling from one situation to the next situation, from one season to the next season. And for me, it was serving other people to finally having to face myself and say, now it's your turn. What do you want?
Mm.
You're still young, right?
Yeah, you
So,
are. That's amazing. I also had children young, so I totally get it. And was my first relationship with my son's father was abusive, so I totally get that. And
yeah,
also, I wanted to say thank you so much for your service,
thank you.
serving us. That's what a honor it is to be talking with you. So thank you. I deeply appreciate it.
Thank you.
But it's always out of our own pain that
Yeah.
things come, right? We don't learn lessons for ourselves. It's to
Mhm.
share with others. I mean, obviously, yes, it's for us because we're going through something, but it's always to share with others to help other people through their
I agree.
problems. And I love that. And I don't know if as women we're ever going to not wear a bunch of hats, because sometimes we do it very gracefully as well.
So
But
we
I think
do.
we were meant to multitask and have many things going on because we're supposed, originally we're the homemakers or caretakers, and we can have many things going on and manage that well.
Yeah,
But we can also go to a point where it's too much.
absolutely.
And as you said, we're pouring so much into others that we're not pouring back into ourselves. And so, what do you think is maybe a couple of signs we need to be looking for? Like, okay, I'm way over my
Hmm.
capacity
Hmm.
and I need to pull back and take a look at this.
So definitely, if you are feeling like you're like constantly running, constantly doing, and you're just not getting through it all, right? If you feel like the things that you used to love, you no longer love, and
Mm,
it's not, you don't have the passion for it anymore. If you are thinking about how can you get out of doing the things that used to not bother you, maybe you no longer have the capacity for them, or if they're draining you, right? What are your energy drainers? If you find that you're having health issues and you're not sleeping, right? That's a form of stress, and doing too much. And if you realize you're not honoring yourself through your boundaries, right? So are you saying no to things that are not serving you? And then how are you showing up in those spaces, right? Are you showing up excited and cheerful and ready to give? Or is it just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this, right? What is your attitude and your posture towards that? And those are all signs. You kind of look at yourself and how you're showing up. You say how you're showing up for the world, but really, how are you showing up for yourself? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. And it pours out into our relationships and our businesses, etc.
I think that's a really good point. Like, we can put on this mask and show up
Mm,
and look excited and happy, but what is it? We need to look on the inside. What are we really
mm,
feeling on the inside?
exactly.
And also, you said, does it serve me anymore? So things can change.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we just get stuck like, well, this is, I've always done this. Like, I don't understand. And we just keep going instead of taking a look back and say, maybe it's now time to change the
Oh, yeah.
direction that we're headed in. And that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the things that resonate, and I tell my clients all the time, is give yourself permission, right?
Mm,
And so many times we get stuck because, like you said, it's the way we always done it, or we're used to showing up in this way. And it's like, but wait a minute, I'm also important in this. Give yourself permission, either to set stronger boundaries or to change your mind or to take a day off, right? To do what you need to do for you so that you can be a better person on the other side of that. And then ultimately you'll show up better for the people in your lives and for your business if that's a concern.
That's so true. And something you said was that we're important, but I think we're the most important
Yeah.
because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not watching out for ourselves, no one else is going to really do it. But like you said, we're not going to be able to show up for others
Yeah.
the way that we want or the way that we
Absolutely.
should. So that's not a selfish statement. It's not an ego statement.
Not at
It's
all.
simply that if the top person isn't feeling well, isn't doing well, isn't happy, it pours out onto everything.
Everything. Absolutely. Yeah. I tell one of the things I also say is even though I want you to build a purpose driven business and have a like an intentional life, I also want you to think about because you do it for legacy. We say we do it for many things, but also if you go away, it all goes away. And then it's for nothing.
That's
Right.
so true.
Yeah. So putting it in perspective, like realistically, if something happens to you, if you can't perform, you can't like exist, then what happens to everything around you? What's the
Mhm.
impact?
I love that, and we can go to way off into another topic. But it's something to think about, like, if we
Yeah.
burn ourselves out, this is gonna collapse, and
Hmm.
then, what we set out to do isn't going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good way to think about that. So, something you've also said is like when we treat our goals like options, like
Mm.
life will always find a way to push you to the back burner, or it'll always find a way to push our goals to the back burner, right? Because there's always fires to put out, especially as mom, and if you're a mom in a business, and even when you have adult children, as you had said, they
Yeah,
don't stop needing you. They don't. We
yeah.
crave that from our mothers. So what does it look like practically to make goals non-negotiable? And how can we shift our mindset? Because just about everything's a mindset shift.
It is. It really is. Yeah, I think as I explained to my clients, we always talking about time, right? There's never enough time. And we talk about time management strategies. And it's not enough to just give someone those things and to tell them, right, you got to make enough time, you got to do it. But it's also to say, this is what works for me. And so I explain, like, I set reminders in my phone to review my calendar every day. Why?
Mm,
Because the things I set on my calendar to do are very important for me. And I know that if I don't make my goals non negotiable, no one else will. So when that reminder goes off, even if I'm busy, even if there's an emergency, I just don't shut it off. I reschedule it to a later time when I think I
mm,
can review it because I put that in place as a reminder to me that I've got this thing that I've got to get done because it's important to not just me, but to the goals I've set for myself because I set them for a reason. And so when we're thinking about our goals and we're thinking about the things that we set for ourselves long term and what we want to accomplish, we also need to identify why we want to accomplish those things. So it becomes I'm clear on why I want to accomplish this. This is what's tied to me not accomplishing it, right? Having that important conversation so that when that reminder goes off, I know if I don't do this, this is going to be the impact on the other side of that. So you
mm,
can be real with yourself. Like you have to look yourself in the mirror at some point and say, I didn't accomplish my goals this time because I didn't do the work. It's not because anybody else dropped the ball or things came up. It's like you have to or else, right?
mm.
Or else.
So good. Right. It's so good because also I think when we try to pass the buck or pass the blame, we actually lose our own power to
Mm-hmm.
actually get it done.
Yeah.
And the more that we give that away, the less the more our goals are going to be put on the back burner, and then they go back and back. And before we know it, they're just gone. We don't even have our eyes on them anymore.
Absolutely. I
So
think that causes us to be accountable, right? To ourselves.
yes, 100%. And that's who we really need to be accountable to is ourselves and what we set out to do. And as you were saying, having purpose and being intentional because we really don't have a lot of time on this earth.
You don't.
We think, oh, what is the average, like 80, 85 right now? It seems like a long time, but I just turned 50. So on that average, I only got about 35 years left.
That's all we got. I'm 52.
And I'm like, that's not a lot of time.
It's not in the scheme of things. It's really not, right? Because who plans to be working when they're 80 or 85, right? We're like, no, I'm going to be kind of enjoying the beach. At least I plan to. Don't
Yeah,
judge
life
me.
is going to look different.
Yeah.
And we want to accomplish things before we go to the beach or,
Right.
spend the whole day on the beach
Exactly.
or just go into that next season of life.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. And I think also with this conversation and all these things, we're also a testament and an example to our children
Yeah.
and people who are watching us. And they're counting on us to
Absolutely.
do these things so they could do what they've been put here to do.
Absolutely. I do think it's a ripple effect, right? So all of our lives are pebbles thrown into the pond to create
Mm,
ripples for those coming after us. I definitely believe that. And I think a lot of times people ask me, how do you get all this stuff done? How are you so productive? Some people are like, you're so amazing. I'm like, I don't think so. And they say, well, why do you feel like that? And I'm like, well, honestly, I feel like if we all did our part, right, then the world would be a much better place. And so for me, I'm doing my part. If I don't wake up every day and do as much as I can in the earth, whether it's love on my family or show up for my clients or show up for myself, then I've just wasted a day, right? And life is a gift. So who wastes
Mhm.
gifts? Let's not do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a good point, because also we don't have to do all of the things every day.
Right.
They can be broken up. They
Mm,
obviously we can't do all the things in one day. But we can break it up. But also thinking about, okay, are we actually making the time to do it? Like you said, I put an alarm. Life happens sometimes. I
yeah.
reschedule. I didn't just shut the alarm off and go back to
Mm,
sleep. I actually rescheduled it. So you hit the snooze button because something was happening, but
yeah.
it's going to go back off. And I think that's important, because sometimes we think, well, I couldn't get to it, so that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there goes our whole day or our whole week, or now, our plans are pushed back, and it just goes into a whole nother
Yeah.
hamster wheel of chaos.
Yeah. I like to think about all of us as simply being human beings, and we all have the same
Mm,
24 hours. And when you think of all the greats, all the people who have made their mark in history, it was like they were all human and they all had the same 24 hours. It was just they honored their time, right? And they made
yeah,
their mark in their moment. And I think we all have a responsibility to do that. And it looks different for
absolutely.
all of us, right?
Mhm.
It's
I
not
love
getting
that.
confused and, I'm comparing myself to anyone. It's just saying, okay, how am I supposed to show up and make my mark today?
Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And just I think waking up that way,
Yeah.
right? What I need to do to show up and make my mark, to make a difference, to create impact, to create that ripple effect that's going to be, impactful and
Mhm.
positive. And
Yeah.
not only that, but set the next generation up to get a foot forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
it. This is like blowing my mind, because sometimes we just don't, I think, have deep enough conversations, and we stay on the surface of things, but we really get into that. You talked about time management, and we think, and how we've all had the same amount of time,
Mhm.
as far as in a day.
Right.
Uh, and then we look at people who were not on this earth that long, but the impact they made. And we're
Yeah.
just like, how in the world did they take that short life and do all that? But I think it's focus and purpose and weeding out distractions.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
feel like we can get so distracted by this phone of ours. And we probably do have more distractions than ever
Yeah.
before. Emails popping up. I try to shut all my notifications off. I mean, for like 3 months, I had my ringer off, and my daughter's like, "You got to turn the ringer back on in case there's an emergency." I'm like, "But it's so quiet." Um, but where can we shut those things off to get that clarity, right? What are some things we can take a look at in our life and say, I need to shut this off because it's actually stilling my capacity. It's actually
Mhm.
filling up something that's not even worth being filled up.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally think that we should all take time and do time blocks, right? Where you're focusing on particular tasks. So I have tasks that are important to me for the week, for the day. What are your top three for the day? What are your top three for the week? What are your top three for the month? What are your top three for the quarter? And the reason that you want to focus like that is because it helps you long term achieve your goals. But if you are actually taking that time to be unplugged, right? So during those focused time blocks, you'll have all of your notifications off on your emails and social media and your cell phone. You may want to let your family know, like, hey, this is the time I'm going to be working and focusing on doing this thing, whether it is working out, whether it is meditating, whether it is working in your business, like whatever it is that you want to take time and make space for. And then you want to say, okay, during this time, I'm just going to focus on achieving or working in that particular space. And when you come out of it, like I'll do it for an hour, but I'm only working 45 to 50 minutes out of the hour. That other 10 to 15 minutes, I'm up, I'm stretching my leg, I'm letting the dog out, I'm getting a snack. I may check my socials, right? Make sure I didn't miss anything. I may take a quick look at my emails, see if anybody called my phone. But then I jump back into it so that I can feel like when I get up, I've actually accomplished something, right, towards my goals for the day. And then the beauty of that is I have the rest of the day to do whatever I want, right? And so as an empty nester, right, with older kids, that may be spending time with the grandkids, taking a walk, laying on the hammock, right, watching the sunset.
Mm.
But it gives us the ability to choose where we couldn't choose before because we were scattered and all over the place. And so that time management is really key, right, as a system to create the structure we need so that we can get clear and focused and move how we want to move. Yeah.
I love that. And especially how you said that, I'm setting the alarm, but I'm only actually working for about 45 minutes and I'm getting
Yeah.
up. So we're not having to sit here for, 5, 6 hours at a time.
No.
And my brain will not let me do that.
Yeah.
It's like, I am done. I was telling someone, I'm like, I feel so bad. Sometimes I'm in meetings and if it's boring, like I can't focus on what they're saying. And I'm just like trying to make my brain focus. And I was just like,
No.
but it was probably time for me to get up
Yeah. Yeah.
and go get off that and then come back. So
Yeah.
I think also being aware of what's working for you
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
okay, what is your body telling you? There's a reason I can't focus. Maybe I just need to get up and go walk or get in the sun or, do a little chore so I feel like I'm doing a little
Yeah.
bit of everything, whatever that is. And I think that's important to stop and listen to what our
Mhm.
bodies and minds and actions are telling us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Goes back to honoring yourself, right? So this all starts with self-care, hearing yourself, honoring yourself, responding to yourself and what everything is telling you, and then moving from that space. I
And
think
I love
that's
that you
important.
said that. This is self-care. Because sometimes when we think about it, we're like, we got to get a massage, we have to do this, we have to do that. But self-care is simply just listening to yourself and being
Mhm.
aware and making those shifts so
Yeah,
that you can show up the way that you want to, right? The way it's really
exactly.
about how we want to show up. Oh, this was so good. I love this. So if someone is saying, I've got chaos happening here. I'm in complete chaos. How can they get a hold of you? How can they find you?
Sure. If someone loves the conversation and they want to continue it, my name is Chanda Coston. They can reach me on my website, chanda-co.com, or on socials at chanda2_co. That's simple.
I love it. And that'll all be in the show notes, so don't fret. And Chanda, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom
Yes.
and your heart with us today. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. And I love how you remind us that clarity isn't just about business, it's
Yeah.
really about creating a space for what truly matters.
Yeah.
And to everyone who's listening, if you're feeling like you're running on empty, let this be your reminder. You get to build your business on your terms. You
Absolutely.
have a choice. The power is yours unless you choose to give it away. So make your goals non negotiable.
That's
Honor
right.
your capacity and give yourself permission to say not right now to what doesn't align. And if this episode resonates with you, please share it, like it, comment on it, do all the things, tag us, follow us. Let's get this message out to more people faster. So until next time, remember when you build your business on purpose, everything changes. Thank you again so much for being here. This podcast is dedicated to you and all the incredible women out there breaking chains, pushing through, and striving to make it all work. Your support truly means the world to me. Could you do me a favor? Be a gem and leave a review. It will help us reach even more women, making a bigger impact. Your feedback is invaluable, and I would genuinely appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, ensuring you never miss an episode. Until next week, live a purposeful life in both your business and your finances.